Girl, this is gonna be a short but an all-inclusive step-by-step video on what to do once you get paid so you get to break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. Now, a lot of people get stuck between steps 1 and 2, but if you follow along and adapt all 6 steps, girl, you are going to definitely find yourself in a much better financial position than you were previously. Now, I wanted to understand that the only difference between the people who are able to build real wealth and also seem to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck is how they manage their money, okay? Because I will always maintain that though how much you make matters, it does not matter as much as what you do with it and how you manage it. First step is savings. Girl, if you don't have a savings account, you need to open one ASAP. Now, the reason this is important is that having an account designated solely for savings is going to put a huge boundary between what is meant for savings and what is meant for spending. And even if you work in the informal sector or you are paid on the table, girl, you have to walk into the bank and open for yourself a savings account. Now, how much you save in that account depends on you. I would suggest that you do 15%. Ideally, people say you should do 10%, okay, at least, but you can do 20, you can do 30. That depends on you. You can save any amount you want to save if you cut down on luxuries that you don't necessarily need. Now, a lot of us ladies feel intimidated going into the bank. Yeah, and I'm talking about it because I used to feel that way too. But hey, the people in the bank are just like you. The only difference between you and them is that they are wearing suits. So get in there like the lioness that you are and tell them, girl, I want to open an account. What do you have for me? And the money you put there, girl, we are not touching it. Because think about the future. Anything could go wrong. And when it does, you would have that money to rely on. I'm not talking about your emergency fund. We'll get there in a bit. But this money is for future you. And when you get it and you cash out that money, you would have yourself to thank. Next step is to go into your checking account. Now, girl, this checking account is the account from which you pay for every other thing. All our fixed and variable expenses are gonna come from here. Now, before you go paying for anything from this account, girl, I suggest that you sit down and draw a budget. And at the top of this budget, your basic necessities have to come first. I'm not talking about a vacation or a trip with the girls. You may need a vacation, I get it, but that is not as necessary as you getting hungry. You might want to put down your food, your rent, your utilities, healthcare, and even transportation. These are things that you cannot survive without, and so they should be your topmost priority. Now, this is going to differ based on how much you make, your family size, and the responsibilities that you have to take care of, but always make sure that you are paying attention to your basic necessities first. Basically, your needs should be at the top and your wants should be below. And this isn't to say that whatever you want or crave is not important, but girl, you will bear with me, you would agree with me that getting KFC every Monday afternoon is not as important as you getting evicted from your apartment. Now, I live in a country where credit cards are not really a thing, but if you live outside Ghana, where credit cards are really a big deal, you may want to put down your minimum payment on your credit card so that you do not hurt your credit score. Let's get to the next part, which is one important thing that a lot of people take for granted, and that is your emergency fund. You would have to build or rebuild your emergency fund. This is about 6 months of your living expenses calculated, saved, and placed in a safe space. Usually, you are advised to put this in a high yield savings account so that it can accrue some interest that will compensate for the time and inflation. Now, the literal difference between your savings account and your emergency fund is that your savings are meant to take care of long-term financial goals, whilst your emergency is supposed to take care of short-term unexpected financial obligations. Take your emergency fund as your cushion against unexpected financial blows. If you get sick and your health insurance or the money that you set aside for healthcare cannot cover it, your emergency can come in. Now, the reason most people get stuck at step 1 and 2 is because they don't have an emergency fund. So anytime something goes wrong, they go deplete their savings. So though you were saving something small every month, that same month you go take the money to cover an emergency. So you are not able to let it accumulate enough for you to invest and get yourself some assets. So you get stuck in this dynamic of getting paid, saving something small, going back for it, and going back to square one, waiting for your salary to be paid again. And girl, until you break this cycle, you cannot build any substantial wealth. In fact, you'll be stuck marking time every single month. You would always have to start from square one. Next step is to invest your money. Now, you cannot do this until you are able to complete steps 1, 2, and 3. Immediately you think you've saved enough, I want you to take that money and funnel it into an investment of your choice. There are so many investment opportunities out there, girl. You just have to do your research well. Now, you can invest in stocks, you can even invest in a business, you can invest in mutual funds or any money market fund of your choice. You wouldn't want to wait till you get a lot of money before you start investing, okay? And you also do not want to start investing when you've not covered your necessities yet, because that will mean you putting yourself in an unnecessarily tight corner. Now, how much money is enough for you to start investing is a relative decision that you have to make yourself. But ideally, once you save from 3 to 6 months, you can start investing as soon as you want. I would say I have a very toxic relationship with savings and investment, because there are months that I can consistently save just 10%, okay? But if I want to make a huge investment in something, I go commando, okay? I can decide that this month I'm saving 70% of my salary. I'm not touching it. That is a sacrifice that I am willing to make. That works perfectly for me, okay? So do what works for you, girl. But whatever you do, make sure that you always have some money in investment, because that is how you start to build assets. Next step is for you to max out your tier 3 pension. Girl, if you outside Ghana, this policy is similar to the Royal IRA, yeah? But this one is deducted before your income is taxed, especially for those that are on structured employer payrolls. This is not mandatory at all. It is a voluntary retirement program that you can join. You can choose to join. Even if you are a self-employed person, you can pay directly to the scheme. And the good thing is that it helps you to save up to 16% of your basic salary even before your money is taxed, okay? So if 16% of your salary is 500 cedis and you save that, whatever that 500 cedis accrues on it will be added to the 500 cedis and will be reinvested, okay? And very much, you are not just investing only 500 cedis. You are going to do this every month until you decide to opt out of the scheme. The only conditions to this scheme is that you will have to save them for about 10 years before you can withdraw that investment without tax, okay? If you decide to opt out before the 10 years, girl, they will tax your money 15%. However, if I get to invest about 16% of my basic salary without tax, okay, and I get to have it invested for me, and I'll be able to withdraw it after 10 years, hopefully, if I'm not dead, why would I want to withdraw? Why? Okay, why? Yeah, why? Let's move on to the next step, which is paying off your high interest debt. Go, ideally, any debt that has more than 7% of interest, you are supposed to pay it off. Now, you can save even if you have high interest debt, but that debt, the interest that accrues on those debt, is going to cancel out your effort to even save. I forgot to also mention that the step 5 could actually be your step 1, because girl, it gets to save your money for you before you even see your paycheck, okay? If you found of not being able to honor your decision to save, this one automates the savings. It automates the savings for you for long term, and it's going to keep you disciplined, and girl, you would have something working for you. I'm done blabbing. I'm quite tired right now. I want to go get some sleep. So thank you for watching, and till I see you next time, take care of yourself.